Hey everyone, Wind Down Wednesday with John and Melissa. How are you guys doing? We are going to be covering how to get unstuck because so many people get stuck in these relationships or get stuck after the relationship's over and they just don't know how to get unstuck. So one of the things that we wanted to ask you is, what are some of the emotions that are keeping you stuck, that literally are keeping you from moving forward? We want to hear it in the comments because there are so many emotions that you go through with this type of, we didn't turn the volume down, with this type of abuse, that it does get you stuck. I mean, you can't move forward with your life because you can't get past the past. So, I mean, just tell us what you are feeling or what emotions you're going through that are keeping you from moving forward with your life. Either if you're still in it or you've gotten out of it or you've gone back. What's prohibiting you from stepping into your new life and actually being able to enjoy it? What's holding you back? So we're going to give you a minute or two for you guys to tell us what those emotions are, because I know John and I both had a lot of emotions, and they will absolutely hold you back. And they'll prohibit you from healing. They'll prohibit you from, I don't know, becoming yourself again or becoming a better you than before you met your narc. One of the things that, I guess the biggest emotion that was holding me back was my denial. I couldn't come to terms with it. I literally was in denial. I made every excuse in the world for why he was behaving the way he was behaving. And so for the longest time, even when we were separated, I had a restraining order, I was in denial. I couldn't wrap my head around that the person I fell in love with never existed. I mean, that's a really raw emotion. To feel that this person who you spent this time with, you might have married, you're in this relationship, you fell in love with them, you have kids with them. They were never that person. It was just so difficult for me to move past. And it was holding me back. It really, really was. I had to accept the fact that the person I fell in love with was not a real person. They were a false person. They were never that human being. The person I left, that was who that person actually was. And it took me a while, probably a good couple years, for me to accept that I fell in love with a fake person. And it was hard for me to accept that. Then I was angry. So you go through all these stages. It's almost like grief. You go through all these crazy stages. I know John went through a lot of different emotions. I'm going to let him kind of jump in here.
I tell you, my biggest emotion that kept me back for several years from healing was regret. The regret I felt, and the just how disappointed I was with myself. I mean, I consider myself a sharp guy. I'm an entrepreneur. I work hard, and I feel like I know better. And I ignored all these red flags. And then after it's over, you relive those red flags. How could I have fallen for that? How could I have fallen for that manipulation? Especially if you're a strong person, when you get into this relationship and you just doubt yourself, you question yourself. Well, how could I have fallen for this? So the regret I carried for several years was probably the biggest anchor for me on moving past this and being able to move forward in my life. And I was fortunately able to get rid of all that regret and bitterness and anger, and was able to become the person that Melissa fell in love with. And I wouldn't have if I still was holding on to all that. So thank God I was able to get rid of it through the steps that we undertook to recover. But that was my biggest problem, I think, is just the regret and just being so disappointed with myself for falling for it over and over and over again.
Well, and, we talk to a lot of people that say, why didn't I see this? Why did I fall for this? But what doesn't help is when you talk to people, you're trying to talk to friends or family or whatever, and you're trying to talk about what you're going through. If they haven't been through it, it's like it gets old for them. They can't comprehend what you're going through. So they're quick to say, well, you saw the red flags. Why did you just leave? Why did you stay so long? Why don't you get over it? Why don't you get past it? Those are really hurtful. And I know they don't mean it. They don't mean it. They just don't understand it. But that's probably the worst thing you can say to somebody that has gone through narcissistic abuse is, why don't you just move past it? Why don't you get over it? Why don't you just leave? It's not that easy. I mean, it's literally like having your emotions hijacked. I mean, they are hijacked and you're like, I need my normal emotions back. And somebody is just strangling the life out of them. And it's so difficult to try to explain that to somebody. I mean, the first thing that I think a lot of people go through, especially maybe right after they left, right during the breakup, if they were discarded, is heartbreak, crushing heartbreak, because you're mourning a person that you thought you lost, but it was not that person. But your mind's not going to know that. Your heart's not going to know that. They are still going to grieve the loss of that person that you thought they were. And then the anger comes, like John was talking about, anger, bitterness, because they will steal things from you. If it's not money, your credit, Lord knows what else, it's your being. It's who you are. It's who you were. They like robbed you of your person. And so you do get angry and you do get bitter and you do have to go through all of these crazy emotions, because if you don't flush these emotions out, you can't move forward.
Yeah, we have this person saying, after she was discarded, she's very angry. Exactly. Yeah. So people definitely feel that.
You do. You feel it. And you think you wasted all this time in your life. You're like, I wasted all these years. I wasted all this energy. I wasted this money. I wasted my love, my emotion, my devotion, my loyalty, because you did waste it on someone that didn't deserve it, but that wasn't your fault. That's not your fault. So getting rid of the blame, the self-blame, getting that off your shoulders is one of the things that you have to do. You literally have to do it. And the only way, because I went through a lot of things. I went through shame, low self-esteem, low confidence, denial, of course, disbelief, false hope, because I went back 3 times. I actually fell for it 3 times and it was worse every single time. But I wanted so desperately to believe his lies. I did. And that there's no shame in that. You might feel ashamed, but you're normal. You're a normal human being, and a normal human being forgives. But when you forgive a narc, they're not looking for your forgiveness. They're looking to trick you. They are looking because they're not done with you. You still have something they want. So if you've tried to move on, you are so fragile. So my best advice to you is, when people say go no contact, I know that sounds like a broken record. It's the only way you can get forward. It's the only way you can get them out of your new book. I mean, they like destroyed your old book. I mean, it was some scary chapters in that old book and it was a lot to do with them. That book is over. If you're still with them, then the struggle is so difficult. And my heart breaks for you. It really, really does, because I know you're miserable and I know you want to leave. If you've left and you're still in this despair, it's because you haven't closed that book. You haven't shut it. It's over. It's the end chapter, the end. Terrible book. The new book, you don't want that narc in your new book. You don't want them to destroy your pages, to destroy your chapters. Getting rid of them is going to be the hardest thing that you ever do. But that's the first step. The first step is to absolutely remove them from your life. You might never be able to remove them from your mind and your heart, but you can remove them from your life.
I get so many amazing comments. I'm trying so hard to respond to you guys. This person, I can totally relate with you. It says, I invested a lot of money. Now I'm going through bankruptcy. Oh my God. How much money I wasted on this female narc. And we did a series on female narcs and their manipulating tactics. So if you haven't seen that, please check out our TikTok channel and go back. We had a 5-part series specifically on female narcs, and their biggest motivating thing, I guess, for us men and for women too, if that's the relationship, is to try to destroy you financially. I mean, that's why you're a target, is because they see you as somebody that they can take from. And so they get in close, where you get married or get into a very, very close relationship, you buy a home together, what have you. And then the mask comes off, and then we really know who we're with. And as we try to get away, that's when we find out that they open up accounts in our name. They've taken money from us and our family members. They make our life miserable. And actually, I had to mediate out and give her money just to leave. It was divorce, but
only 6 months of marriage.
She brought nothing to the marriage, no money, no assets. But then I had to pay her hundreds of thousands of dollars just to go away. That is in addition to all the money I lost during the dating and during the marriage. So I totally hear what you're saying, and that's part of what that creates an emotion of anger, and it creates an emotion of regrets. How could I fall for this? All of those things. And you're just going to have to get through it. Now we're working on a financial abuse recovery series that we've got coming up. So Melissa is an expert. It's coming out September 1st. Melissa is an expert. She has 40 years experience in the financial industry. So we've designed an entire platform, especially for folks that are suffering from financial abuse, from narcissism, on how to protect themselves and when they're leaving, but also how to rebuild after the destruction, because it is destruction. I mean, it's like a freaking hurricane comes through and destroys you financially. And so how do you recover from that? And so that's what we're going to be working on. We're working on it right now this month, and we're going to be able to, thank you for that. We're going to be able to launch it on September 1st. It's a whole series on financial recovery. So stay tuned for that. Melissa is the best in the business about that.
Well, thank you, John. I appreciate him saying that. That was the only thing that saved me financially, because I was destroyed in every other aspect of my life because of what he did. And he did do crazy things to me. I mean, he did open up credit in my name. There was so many things that I didn't, even though I was in the industry, I never had to deal with it personally. So it's so interesting. You could be an expert at something, but when you are emotionally distraught, emotionally stressed out, you're not thinking clearly, which is one of the reasons we created this, because we've recovered now, but we still get triggered. It's really interesting because we'll be doing a series, and one of us will get triggered because of it. Yep. Your mind doesn't forget. But we have tools now that we can actually fall back on to make sure we don't sink into that despair. And that's some of the things that we kind of want to talk about tonight. When we talk about blocking them, it's blocking them from your sight and your mind. You may not be able to block them completely because you have kids together, but you can definitely communicate through a third party. You don't have to communicate directly through them. And the thing that I see the most with my clients, and I hate this for them, is they make excuses for themselves because they don't want to let go. They want to believe the lies. They want to believe, I'm so sorry. Let's try again. Remember all the good times. And you will remember the good times, even if they were few and far between, because your brain forgets pain. And so there are things that your brain is going to forget because you can't really cope with it right now, but it's going to come back to haunt you. And one of the things that narcs are famous for is hoovering people back after. They don't want to lose. They don't want to lose you. They want to lose the game. So they will absolutely do anything and everything to get you back if they weren't the one that discarded you. So training your physical person to block them is the only way to start the first steps of emotional healing. Because I'm telling you, text messages, emails, they're emotional. They will stir up emotion in you, either hurt, anger, fury, despair, or false hope. So when you keep that line of communication up, I know it's because you're like, I just can't do it. I cannot shut the door all the way. You will be stuck until you do that. Absolutely stuck in quicksand, until you absolutely, that is the first step you have to take.
Hey, I want to answer this because I think it could help a lot of us. This question is how to help a 13-year-old whose narcissistic mother walked out on her. This child is struggling with self-esteem and anger. So maybe we can talk about that to help everyone who's dealing with anger and self-esteem. And maybe this person can help this 13-year-old with these types of efforts that they could do to move past this.
I'll tell you, one of the things that I think helps is basically just validating their feelings. My problem with my personality is I'm a solution-driven person. So if there's a problem in front of me, my mind automatically goes to solve it. Sometimes that is overwhelming for the person who is actually experiencing the issue, the anger, the betrayal. So validating their feelings, letting them spurt out whatever they want. I mean, it could they just vomit right on you. Just acknowledging and basically saying, I think that's horrible. My heart breaks for you. I can't believe you had to go through that. I am so sorry that you're going through that. I feel for you. I do. That validation is one of the biggest things that you can do for someone, because they're angry and they're having these outbursts for a reason. They don't understand. They're trying to lash out. And so my mistake, because I had a son that went through this with me, and he's the one that told me that. It's really interesting how you can learn from your kids. But because he went through a lot of suffering at the hands of, the ex-narc. And I wanted so badly to remove his pain. I wanted so badly to fix whatever was wrong. And so I would immediately jump to the solution, because I thought, if I can fix this, if I can solve this, he's not going to suffer. But that's not true. I mean, one day he said to me, he goes, Mom, he goes, I love you to death. And he goes, and you have given me the most incredible advice I could ever ask for. But sometimes I just want you to hear me. I just want to get it out. And I just don't want you to try to solve my problem. I just want you to listen. I just want you to hear me. It was the best lesson I ever got from my 18-year-old son. And I've used that to this day, because it is, just getting it out and letting somebody acknowledge you have the right to feel that way and not try to fix it is probably the best step that you can do to help her. Seriously, I think just give it a try. Give it a try and see if that is something that would work for her, or at least start working for her.
Hey, real quickly, before we get to the next one, could everyone just double click their screen? I think that helps to share it with other folks. We want to grow the awareness of this channel so that we can help as many people as possible recover from this situation. So I think I understand that if you double tap the screen, it shares this live with all your people. So we'd really appreciate that if you would do that. And if you haven't yet, please like this. If you like this content and help us grow this channel, we'd really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're still learning about this channel. If you are following us on any of our lives, you realize that John and I have no idea how to turn off the live. We've tried everything. If somebody wants to put that in the comments, like, what do we do? Well, we need to end it. We've double tapped. We've gone to the bottom, to the right, to the left. I'm like, Jesus, where's the off button?
Okay.
So anyway, you guys can help us out by letting us know.
Let's talk about a couple of things here. Melissa's talked a lot about, I love when Melissa talks about journaling, because I think this is so powerful, guys, especially if you're really struggling with these emotions and they're all bottled up, you don't know what to do with them. We talked about totally blocking the narc, where they cannot communicate with you. And that's going to be very, very helpful. But you still have to purge all this stuff. And so you have to get into, I shouldn't say have to, but you need to try to get into the daily habit of journaling, where you're just, like Melissa will tell you, the first couple of days that she journaled, all she did was write cuss words. She was so mad and so angry. And she would just write just horrible stuff and just to purge all of this. You got to get it out. And especially when you don't know who to talk to, relatives don't understand, friends don't understand. You have to purge and you have to write this journal. Now, if you're still in your relationship with your narc, you've got to make sure they never see it, because they'll hold it against you. So make sure, and I want Melissa to talk a little bit more about journaling, but to start journaling every single day. Now, I love meditating also. I know you guys have probably heard that if this is not the first time you've seen our live, but I meditate every day. And I think that gives me good clarity and peace every single morning. I love the mindful movement on YouTube. Sarah Raymond talks you through, and I love this one. It's 15 minutes. It's called Morning Bliss. If you go to the mindful movement on YouTube, and my Morning Bliss. In fact, I just shared this with Melissa the other morning. I loved it so much. These powerful affirmations that you say when you're in this great feeling of calm. What a phenomenal way to start the day. So if you want to talk a little bit about journaling. Yep.
Yes. And I am going to answer this question really quick, because it says, do you recommend speaking your piece to the narc before cutting them off? No, I don't. And this is the reason I say this. And I actually wrote an entire section about this in a book we just published, and it's closure with the narc. You're never going to get closure with the narc because they know they hurt you. They don't care that they hurt you. They don't want to hear anything that you have to say because, and I know this is harsh, it doesn't matter to them. So the only person that's going to get more hurt and more frustrated and more angry is you. Because if you try to blurt out or just get it out to them, what you're feeling, what they did to you, how they destroyed you, you are either going to be cut off. They're not going to even listen to you. They're going to hang up, or worse, they're going to turn around and blame the entire fall of the relationship on you. And you are going to feel worse than you did before. Because when you try to have closure with a normal person, the relationship didn't work out. You gave it your best shot. You just weren't compatible. You want to go your separate ways. You could get closure with that person. You could basically say, you know what, you travel too much. I just can't do a long distance relationship. I thought we had this chemistry, but I think we're better just friends. They may be hurt. They may get mad about it, but you can say it and then you go your separate ways. Not with a narc. With a narc, they'll either use those feelings against you. They'll turn it on you and blame you and blame you for the entire demise of the relationship. They will say horrific things to you, and then you'll all of a sudden be on the offensive, trying to defend yourself. On the defensive. So no good comes out of trying to get closure with the narc. They absolutely know what they did to you, but they don't care. And that's the sad part. They really don't care. Yeah,
and the piece is specifically for you. It's not for you to share with the narc or to tell them, the way you feel or what they did to you, because that's going to do nothing for them. What it's going to do is they're going to know that the relationship is over at that point, and then the war begins. And if you're not prepared for that, if you haven't set yourself up for success in this situation and prepared, then you are just kind of letting them know that, hey, I'm leaving or I'm moving past you. You got to be prepared for that, because once that happens, the mask really comes off and the gloves come off too. And then it's all out war of them trying to destroy you. So you have to be careful with that. These are tactics for you to do so that you can have peace, especially if you're still in this turmoil. You've got to figure out a way to find peace within yourself, or it will make you sick. Literally, it will make you sick.
And it can absolutely make you sick, because stress, not sleeping, not eating, binge eating, all of these things we do to our body to relieve the pain that we're going through, is a war zone on our body. So, the thing that with journaling that helped me out is the person that was like, can I just say my piece? You can say your piece to your journal. You know what? You can write down every single thing. It's not going to argue back with you. It's not going to call you a loser. It's not going to cut you off. It's not going to stop you in mid-sentence. It's not going to flip around and start blaming you. You can literally get it all out. I don't care if it takes you 20 pages to get it out, but writing it down at least allows you to get it out, because if you keep it bottled up, it's not healthy for you. It really isn't. So purging it out, if you don't have somebody that you can just tell this to and they listen to you and they don't stop you from talking, they don't say, you know what, I don't want to hear about it anymore, you got to have a journal. And that's the reason I started journaling. I mean, that's the purpose of my book, is because I started journaling years ago, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll sell this to Lifetime. Y'all seen that movie Dirty John, huh? Well, whatever. Anyway, but it is definitely a way to clear your mind of toxic thoughts and just get it out. You have to start fresh. And the only way you can start fresh is by getting rid of the toxic residue that they've left you with. And the blocking thing and the going no contact. If you have kids, just communicate through your lawyer or through that Parent Connect app, whatever that is. Don't be caught alone with your narc. I had a client today. Her narc stole some personal things from her, and she wants them back, and they've been gone. They was stolen 3 months ago, and it's caused her a lot of hardship. And so her narc sent her an email out of the blue and said, you know what? I was going through tough times back then. I know things got out of hand. I'm really sorry, but God, we had such good times. Remember this, remember that, remember this. Of course, she wrote down all the fun times they had. And then she said, you know, I have some things of yours. I'd really like to give them back to you. You know, hey, why don't we just meet at that place we always had drinks at? We had the best time there. Let's just meet casual. I'll give you your things back. That is like you walking into a place with a bomb ready to go off. But guess what your mind wants to do? You know, that sounds good. That sounds safe. I'll take my own car. You know, I know the signs now. I really want my stuff back. These are all excuses. And your brain is playing tricks on you, because your brain has forgotten the pain this person caused you. If you wrote it down in your journal, then you could go back and read it. And when you read the things that they did to you and the way you felt when they did them, you'll be like, I'm not going through that again. I can see exactly where this is going, because this sounds like exactly how the relationship was when I fell for it, when I thought it was real and it wasn't. So that kept me from going back the fourth time, because up until that point, he tricked me. He could literally manipulate me into believing things, you know, that he was having issues with his ex-wife, his business part. There was always this grandiose reason for him treating me like crap. But when I started writing things down, when he came back the next time, you know, 4 months later, because they wait until you kind of cool off, until you're either really lonely, you're doubting yourself, you're thinking, was it that bad? Maybe it wasn't that bad.
You've moved past the pain.
You've moved past the pain. They know that. So then they're going to start kind of creeping back into your life. And you want to believe what they're saying is true. It's not true. Narcs don't change. They don't change. They can't change. That is their behavior. That is who they are. The worst that you saw your narc is the real person. Remember that. Write it in your journal. I wrote it on the top of every single page of my journal. The worst memory of my narc is who he really was. The best memory of my narc was the fake person I fell in love with. And it's hard to wrap your head around it, but if you read it, guess what? It's your words. Nobody can tell you that you're lying to yourself when you wrote things down. So when you write down the raw emotions that you're having, the anger, the fury, the bitterness, the heartbreak, the desperation, the loneliness, writing them down, those are your words. You are literally talking to what you would hope would be your partner that could understand how you feel. You're able to write them down and no one's stopping you from writing them. But when that person comes creeping back into your life, the first thing you need to do before you even think of responding is go and read your journal.
So let's talk about another tactic to help us in our recovery is support groups. You know, we talked about the difficulty of conveying this to our friends and family. And, you know, a lot of times the narc went behind our back and the narc went behind our back and told all our friends and family horrible things. My narc told my family and friends that I physically abused her, which nothing could be further from the truth. But I didn't know that. And so when I'm going to them to talk about what I'm going through and what I'm dealing with, this is going on in their head that this guy physically abused this person. And so they're not giving me good information. So you have to get involved with a support group that can help give you good information and things that they did to help them. That's in any type of recovery that you're in. You have to be around other people that know how to get through it and have gotten through it, kind of like the way Melissa and I have. So Melissa has started a Facebook group that is all about recovery and support. So if you,
and it's in the link tree.
Yeah, it's in our link tree. So if you would go to our TikTok page and go to our bio and click there, you can just click right there and you'll go. It's a private Facebook group. So, you know, you're only there with other people that have been allowed to be in this group. So you're totally safe, totally protected, and you can go through this in the support group. If it's not with Melissa's Facebook group, join another Facebook group, but get involved with some sort of support to help you get through this. Because you know what, guys, let's talk about hope. And that's what this is all about, is moving past this and creating the life that we had before we met our narc. A life that we have dreamed about, getting past all of this stuff and moving on with our new life. And these tactics can help you get there, along with, you know, physical exercise and moving and doing stuff every day that makes you feel better about yourself. All of these things can help you get to that point where you get your self-esteem back, where you get rid of that anger and bitterness. I always say this, there's two roads that you can take at this point. If you're bitter and angry and have regret, which we all do, we all felt those things. You don't want to wallow in that. You know, you want to learn from it and try to move on. And you can go down one road and stay bitter and woe is me and keep thinking about it year after year after year that goes by. And when that happens, that narc won, because they did destroy your life. And you let them destroy it over and over and over again instead of moving past it, learning from it. So let's take that other road. Let's take these steps of recovery and start working on it so we can become that strong, self-reliant person that we were, that our narc found us as a target. We were a target for a reason. And so let's become that person again. So let's take those steps of recovery, get involved with a support group, join a gym, yoga studio, hot works, whatever it is, get that physical activity going again, meditation, journaling, all of those things together on a daily basis can get us to become that person that we used to be before this narc really destroyed our lives for that amount of time.
Yeah, they could rob you of everything. I remember I loved to work out before I met I just liked physical activity. I liked being outside. I liked hiking. I liked going to the gym. It got to the point where it was impossible. I mean, just questioning, where are you? What are you doing? It got to the point where it wasn't even worth it for me to do it. And so for like 7 years, I didn't do anything physically for myself. And that pretty much destroyed my self-confidence. It really did. When I finally got out of this, I was really worried about going in public places. I was worried about joining a group. I had no confidence. My self-esteem was gone. I mean, I literally was like, I don't want to leave the house. Let me just do my job. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to come home. I'm going to feed my dogs, and I'm just going to be alone. But that's not good either. And I'm not saying get into another relationship. I mean, John and I were single for years before we met, but isolating yourself is a dangerous place to be. So, what I did is I just started walking. I just walked to the end of my driveway and back. And I was like, okay, that wasn't so bad. I didn't see anybody. But then I started walking a little further, and then I made it a goal. I wrote it in my journal that I was going to walk for 10 minutes a day. And I did that for a week. And then I raised it to 15 minutes and then 20 minutes. You're going to feel better. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you do it in front of your TV. I mean, there's so many things on YouTube. You don't need weights. That could be your accountability partner. But doing something for your physical body is going to make you feel better. One of the things I did, which was an exercise, it's actually in my course. I tell people to take a picture of who they were before they met their narc. I mean, in the beginning, picture. Take a picture of themselves now and compare the two pictures. It's not so much a physical body difference. It's your skin, it's your face, it's your eyes, it's your hair, it's just the demeanor, how you hold your body. You will see the difference of who you were and then what they stripped you of. So that photo of who you were, I now put that on my refrigerator because I either want to get back to that person or I want to be a better version of that person, or at least want to get away from what I feel right now. And like I said, it's not just about your physical body. It's about your person. And I could tell in my face, just the way I held myself, my skin tone. I mean, I could see that I was unhappy. I could see what it did to me. And so I just said, you know what? I'm going to take baby steps and I am going to get back to the person that I was before I met him, because I'm not going to let him rob that from me. I'm not going to let him continue to rob things from me when I finally was brave enough to get rid of him. And so it's teeny tiny steps. The journaling helps you, throw up all that nasty stuff. Meditation clears your mind in the morning, especially, or at night. So you can either sleep or you can have you can start out positively and because you either got to go to work, you got to take care of your kids. So you got to kind of clear your mind a little bit, but doing just something every day, just a small amount of exercise. And that's, like I said, just walk, go up and down the stairs, walk to your mailbox and back. Just listen to the birds, smell the air, smell a flower, look at the trees. Everything that you wouldn't even think of looking at because you were so caught up in this nightmare is out there waiting for you. And it just takes baby steps. I mean, it really, really does. And before you know it, you'll start feeling better about yourself. And I want you to take another picture. So You've got your original picture from before you met your narc. You got your picture now. If you commit to just doing something teeny tiny a day, forgiving yourself, journaling, meditate, take a bubble bath. You deserve it. Guys, drink a freaking beer, watch the game, whatever that she'd never let you do, or he never let you do.
Get a punching bag.
Get a punching bag. But then 30 days later, take another picture of yourself. You might not notice physical body change, but I promise you, your face is going to change. Your skin tone, your eyes, you'll be amazed. Just 30 days. Teeny tiny steps. That's all you have to take.
Hey, I've got a great question here, and I know how I would probably answer this. This person said that the narc told all the neighbors that if it's stories about her, I guess, and if they saw her moving stuff out of the house or taking stuff out of the house, to call him. Should she confront the neighbors? You know what? I would. I mean, I would say, hey, let me tell you what's actually going on here, and that this stuff is mine, and whatever. But
even if they have to call the police.
If they have to call. But you know what? If it makes you feel better to clear your name from the narc lies, do it. If it makes you feel better. if it's like, I don't give, I don't care one way or another, whatever, then don't bother. But if it does, and for most people it would, if your neighbors have been told lies about you and you have and you found out about it and you have the opportunity to clear your name and it makes you feel better, I would absolutely suggest to do that, babe. How do you feel about that?
No, I would too. Mine told lies to people in my church, to like the small groups, you had to break up into your small group communities. He told some vicious lies and I didn't know it. I had no idea. Somebody in that group actually told me what he was telling people. And I was so upset by it. And I thought to myself, you know what? I know the truth. But I couldn't help myself. I said, you know what? I'm going to those people. I'm going to tell them. And so I just said, I go, you know what? You can believe whoever you want, but this is my side of the story, because your narc is out. They're out just smearing you. You're hurt. You're isolated. You're still trying to figure out what the hell's going on. You're not broadcasting this to everyone. They are. They're broadcasting their narrative. They want their story to get out because they don't want to be the bad guy, the bad girl. They don't want to be the one that looks like the crazy person or the mean person or the person causing it. So they will get out in front and tell the story first because they don't care. They're not in emotional distress like you are. They literally are, they feel nothing. So they are setting the stage. They're setting the story. And when you say nothing, people don't have anything to compare it to because there's not two sides to the story because you didn't tell your story. So people have their own opinion about this. John and I actually have the same opinion about this. It mattered to me. People that I cared about that almost were looking for me to say, God, that's not true. Saying nothing only gives them the narc side of the story. So I did. I said, and I didn't even ask what they said. I mean, this person told me what he was saying. It was freaking horrific. What I said was, I'm going through a horrific time right now. I'm going through a divorce. I married somebody that is a completely different person. It's practically destroyed me, but I understand he is spreading a bunch of vicious stories about me. You know me. You know who I am. I haven't changed. I didn't turn from this person that you know into this hideous, drunk, alcoholic, drug addict, sex fiend, all these crazy lies. I said, I'm the same person that you've known. I'm just heartbroken. And I didn't want to air my dirty laundry. And I didn't want to tell everybody what I was going through. But I told them. And I'll tell you what, man, they rallied behind me. If they don't rally behind you, they were never your friends.
You'll know right away.
You'll know right away. And it's hurtful. John and I both thought we had true friends that hurt us. They stabbed us in the back. They wanted to believe the narc. Let them. You don't need those people in your life. Yep. So if they don't believe you, you don't need them in your life. Good riddance. You know what? Because they're probably a flying monkey. They're not somebody that's going to be in your corner, and you only want people in your corner. So I would tell them. Absolutely. I did. John did.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this person says, yeah, they've always been very nice, her neighbors. So yeah, they're going to understand your side of the story when they hear your side.
Especially if they know you and they know that you weren't this crazy person when you worked with them, because they're basically painting a picture of you that you never were. They're actually painting a picture of you that is them. So a lot of the things that they do, they will absolutely shift to you. But if you've never had any history of being that way and you have relationships with these people, then they will believe you. But if you don't defend yourself or you don't say the other side, they only have the one side. And let's face it, when you're going through this, you seem a little crazy. I mean, you're spaced out.
Discombobulated.
Yes, you're discombobulated. You might be emotional. You might be short-tempered. So your narc feeds into that. They witness your behavior and they exaggerate as to why you're acting that way. So if you don't say anything to the people around you, it kind of seems true, you know? I mean, it seems like, well, maybe she is having a mental breakdown. Maybe she is drinking too much, all these lies. because you're not defending yourself. So I would absolutely.
Yeah.
I would defend myself to people that I care about.
Let's talk real quick. Guys, we have so much information available for you. If you haven't been to our YouTube channel yet, please go to YouTube and type in Victim to Warrior. You can also do V2W, but Victim to Warrior, we have over 70 videos up there. Some of them are a lot longer than we're able to do on TikTok. And so we want to make sure that you get all the information that you need to make the best decisions for your life right now, no matter where you are. If you're stuck in it, if you're trying to get out, if you just got out, you're trying to recover, if you've been trying to recover for years and you're struggling, we have videos to cover all those different things. So please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe so that when we have new videos come up, because we have new things that come up every single week, you will be notified and you'll be able to catch those. So we'd really appreciate it if you would go to our YouTube channel and subscribe there.
And we also have weekly newsletters, and that's in our link tree as well, because we post, we actually gather comments from everybody, and that's how we write our newsletters. We gather our comments, and the most popular comments, we actually write a newsletter about that topic. It could be co-parenting with a narc, which is so horrible. Vacation time, with a narc. Holidays, birthdays. They try to ruin your birthday because it's your one special day a year. But different things, trauma bond, covert narcissism, things that you have questions about that are a family member narc, daughter-in-law narc. Those are the things that we write our newsletters about. So in our link tree, you can actually just sign up for them. They come out every Saturday night at 6 p.m. And so don't miss that, because there's going to be something in there that probably is going to pertain to you, or email us or DM us. Let us know what you want to hear about. And we will write a newsletter about it. We'll give you the information. We'll tell you what it is, so you're not questioning yourself, and also ways to combat it. A lot of times we do series about them too. So, our current series right now is Darvo. Our next series is going to be red flag versus green flag. So we're going to come up with topics and show you what it looks like as a red flag, what a narc would do in this situation and what a normal person would do in it. Because sometimes we can't tell the difference. And sometimes we can't trust. I mean, we don't want to trust again. We're so worried about this new person having the mask on. So we're going to go through some of those things, some of the, probably the most prevalent differences, so you can actually see, are you in this red flag relationship? Because this is what the green flag looks like. So it kind of helps people when you're literally in that denial phase, recognize the pattern so you can get out of it.
Yeah, it's funny, babe, when you mentioned birthday, this person said, no present, no cake, just an ordinary day. Ridiculous. Yep, they do that because they know that's a special day for you. And so they know how much it hurts when the person that's closest to you, the person that's supposed to love you more than anybody in the world, destroys your birthday. And so, that is a tactic they use. Do not let them do it, and expect it. If you're still in the relationship and you have a birthday coming up, expect that they're going to do something to make it a bad day for you. Do not let them win in that situation. Yep.
No, because people that do love you will actually treat you like the special person you are on your birthday. And it's so sad that the one day that is your day. It's the one day. A lot of days you have to share with people. You got to share holidays, Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. Your birthday is your birthday, your special day. It's the one day that you're the king or the queen, and your narc will steal that from you. They will. They'll act like they forgot, or they'll purposely forget, because they don't want you to be the center of attention. And it's the one day they can't be the center of attention unless they do something negative. So that negativity, guess what, makes them a center of attention. They'll either, like John said, don't let them do it, because they'll pick a fight with you. They'll cancel plans. They'll act like they forgot. If you feed into it, then they are now the center of attention, because either you're hurt they win. You're arguing with them. You're, lashing out at them because they forgot or they messed up the plans. They won, because guess what? All the attention is now on them. They don't care if it's negative attention. They don't care, as long as it's not on you and it's on them. So don't let them ruin your birthday.
Guys, if you haven't yet, would you please like this live? I think this has been a great live, such great information. And so please, if you haven't yet, just click like and we'd really, really appreciate it. And like Melissa said, right now, our series on our TikTok channel is Darvo. And we really do some skits to show exactly what it looks like. So if you haven't seen that yet, please check out our TikTok channel and see those most recent videos. We got some great videos in there, by the way. We do lots of skits where we want to show what it looks like, and if it's going on in your world, what to do to combat it.
Hey, and congratulations for you who actually took your kids and went on your birthday celebration, because they will be purposely late.
Yes, good for you. Yes.
High five for you,
yeah,
because you didn't let him ruin it. And you know what? It probably pissed him off so bad. But good. And you may have been like, oh my God, but you know what? They didn't ruin your birthday. And if they came late, it's hard for them to ruin your birthday when they actually get to the birthday. They may ruin it before or after, but if they go to the birthday, it's very difficult for them to ruin it, because they don't want to be looked at as the negative a-hole. So they'll restrain from being that person. Now, they may do other subtle things that you can see, but they won't be as blatant as they are in some other situations. So good for you. That's what you got to do, because by God, your birthday is your day.
Yep.
And you don't need somebody ruining it, especially, like John said, the person that you would hope that would make it special. But you know what? There are people out there that do make birthdays very special. So I do have to say.
And sometimes we have to be reminded about it so that we can make it special. So don't forget to do that.
His mother reminds him. And then it turns into our birthday week, yes, which I like.
Of course.
So yeah, John and I we do some crazy things for each other on our birthdays. But we know, you know what? I guess we're making it for lost time.
Yeah.
Because we were cheated out of so many birthdays. Maybe that's why we make them. I go overboard with birthdays. And it's not just the gifts. It's just everything. It's just making that person feel like a king or a queen, making him feel like a king. And maybe it is because I was cheated out of so many birthdays that I just go overboard for birthdays, because I want that person to know how lucky we are that they were born on that day and that they're with us and part of our lives. Yeah. So, and it makes the person feel special. And I know John did the same thing for my birthday. He even bought me this purse combination. Can you believe that? I mean, awesome purse, wallet, crossover bag. I wonder who helped him with that.
I had a little bit of help.
But all I can say is it was my favorite. It was.
Hey, I want to say something. I know a lot of you have been on for a long time. I'm so grateful for that. And sometimes it's difficult in whatever situation you are in to have the privacy and to stay on with us as long as you have. We do this twice a week, so I want to make sure you know about that. If it's a better night for you on Sunday nights, we do Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and it's pretty much just a Q&A. You know, we try to start with certain topics. Like tonight, we really talked about, getting out of these emotions that we're stuck in. But on Sunday nights, we really try to focus on Q&A. So bring your questions. In fact, if you want to, prior to Sunday at 7, if you know you're going to be on, just send us your comments or your questions so that we can be prepared to answer them for you, because that's what we want to do. We get thousands of comments almost every week, and so we can't get back to them on our TikTok channel. So this is why we do this. So if you are struggling with something, please be on your Sunday night and come on with some questions, and let's try to get those answered for you. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely. And like John said, there's no question that's off limits. We will, to the best of our ability, we will answer your questions. Or if we can't, we'll definitely get back to you for sure. So
let's see if we have anything else. It's almost the top of the hour before closing out. This one person said that she's learning when we talked about, the birthday and all that. She says she's learning. And I said, unfortunately, there's a lot to learn when dealing with a narc. There's so much to learn. So that's why we put so much information, especially on our YouTube channel, to try to educate you on how to deal with this. It's a sickness. It really, really is, of what you're dealing with. And so try to get as much information from us as you can to learn this. We have another question here.
I want to answer Missy's question.
Do that, babe.
And Missy, that's my nickname. That was my nickname growing up, Missy. So we've got a kinship there. I know how it feels to be stuck. I'd love for you to DM me, because I do have some advice for you, and just little ways that you can start planning. Because I know when someone controls the money, it's very, very difficult. What can you do without money? That is really, really makes it but they know that. That is the number one control mechanism they have. So there are little things that you can do if you want out. So just, hey, DM me, and we can connect, and I can kind of share some things with you that maybe will help in your situation. And you can start little by little working toward your freedom, because that's what it is.
It's baby steps.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said, thank you. I absolutely will.
Good.
And someone else just chimed in. Luckily, the family helped out a lot. And that's a great thing too. If you have a support, some friends and family that can help you at least to get away. Melissa teaches a lot about how to create, an emergency fund over here that no one knows about. Just putting a little bit away in that so that you can, when it is necessary to leave, you can do that and get to the place of safety. But reach out to friends and family and let them know that you are in a situation. And I feel so bad for this person. She no car, no money. You've got to find some way to get some help so that you can get out of that situation, because it's not going to get better. So if you're thinking that, if you stayed, it might get better or whatever, it won't. It'll only get worse. So you have to try to get out of there as quickly as you can. So let Melissa help you with that.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, DM me and come on, troll, get off our channel, please.
I'm gonna have to block you, dude.
Blocked.
Come on. We're helping so many great people
seriously.
here.
Yeah. There's so many other channels you can go and do that kind of
stuff. Bye, loser.
Yeah. So anyway.
Sorry, I should never talk to.
Sometimes we get a little.
Yeah. We're so passionate about what we do, guys.
It's like it just disrupts things, and we don't want that for you guys. So yeah, we try to clean those off of our channel. So anyway, but unless you guys have anything else, then we may just wrap things up.
Yeah, we'll see you on Sunday.
Yes.
Please DM us. Join our Facebook group. Subscribe to our newsletters. Let us communicate with you and help you in this process. That's what we're here for.
Yeah,
and
free masterclass, and we got a lot of free resources that can just help you get unstuck and move toward your healing journey, which is something you deserve.
Yeah,
you absolutely deserve it. So.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, you all, for being here, and
watching.
Thanks for all the great comments and questions. And we hope to see you Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern.
We'll see you then. All right.
Be safe.
We're going to try to turn this live off.
Good luck, baby. Okay.
Is that it?